Hello, Swifters. We're back at it again. Today, going to try something new, but not really something new. Something new is something old. We've been going over a lot of different ways to move your characters and how to shoot baseball, space baseballs. And I want to make sure that you understand there are all sort of little tools that you use to create new behaviors in the games that you want to make on your own. I don't expect you just forever to keep making things I make because you have creativity and imaginations on your own. And I want to make sure that you have the right tools so that you can build the things you want to build. So today we're just going to use the same things we've learned before, but put them together in a different order and make up a little crazy food fight game. Okay, so it's going to be multiplayer now. We've gone from playing against random objects to, well, watching random things in the fish simulations to controlling things with random things moving around in it. And now we're going to have two people controlling things so you can play against another human. Your best friend, your parents, your teacher, anything. All right. So let's get to making these guys move. Let's shrink the cat down first a little bit so that we give them some space. And we're going to have the cat and some other character wasting food and throwing it at each other. Now, that's what's good about simulations. We can do things we wouldn't normally do in real life. And one thing we learned to do to move these characters was to do things when a certain key was pressed. So if we say if the up arrow is pressed, let's change our Y by 10. And if we do that, when we press that, the cat moves up. And that works great for this situation. I want to show you situations, things that make it a little funny. And we're going to have the cat battle against a wizard. The wizard used to help us in the Math Minute, and now our wizard is going to be in some crazy food fight with. Let's shrink them down a little bit so they don't look about the same size. All right, and then we notice our wizard's facing the wrong way. We go to the costumes, go over here, and use this flip left and right. And remember, if you don't know what things are, if you hover over them for a little while, it'll give you an idea of what to do. So let's flip it left and right. There we go. Now our wizard's pointing the right way. Let's move them over the opposite side. And what key is going to make the wizard move up? Well, I'd like to say the up key. But we're using the up key already for the cat. So I think we're going to have to change the cat. Because the up key is on the right-hand side of the keyboard. And the wizard's on the right-hand side of the screen. So we should, let me blow this up for you so it's a little easier for you to see. We should try and put the wizard's controls on the right side of the keyboard. And we'll put the cat's controls on the left side. So now if I hit the up key, they both move up. Isn't quite right. So this one, if I look at the left side of the keyboard, what can we use to move up? I think W would be okay. W or E? Well, let's try E. It's closer in the alphabet here. So the E key moves the cat up. Arrow key moves the wizard up. Try that for yourself a little bit. And then you'll notice, play around with it. Let me know. Think about what you notice. Think about, hey, I don't like this about this application. They can't both move up at the same time. Try that again, right? One can move up, but the other one can't move up. And that's a little bit of a limitation of the way that we're doing things here. So hopefully try that on your own. See, one moves up by itself, but then once the other one starts moving, it stops the first one. And that's because of what we call events and the way these are done. So the up arrow key is pressed, but then, so if I use the up arrow key, I move the wizard up, and I move the cat up, I don't have another up arrow key event that happens for the wizard to go up. So hopefully you guys remember the other way that we had for checking if a key is pressed in this loop that we want to have. So we'll forever, who am I controlling here? I'm writing the script for the cat. So I want to forever check to see if, what do I want to check? Yes, right. If the E key is pressed, then I want to change y by 10. Let's duplicate this. So right click on the if, hit duplicate, put it there. And now let's say if the D key is pressed, we want to change y by minus 10. So now when I hit the green flag, E will move me up, D will move me down. Look good? All right. But now my cat's still going up a little bit too high. Right? So how do we limit that? Well, you see on this screen right here, we have if touching. And if touching can tell us if we're touching the edge. So what we want to do is check to see if moving by 10 is going to make us touch the edge. And if it does make us touch the edge, we want to move back. So it's kind of like bumping into a wall, bumping into an invisible wall. So we change y by 10, but if we're touching the wall, let's change y by minus 10 to move us back to where we were. And so now when I run this, if I hit E, I can get up close to the wall, but I can't go up past the wall, which is the edge in this case. Okay, so that's a trick you'll use probably a lot later on as you're moving. Oh, you can go down too far. And then once you go down, I can't get out of that area because I'm touching the wall. So I need to do the same thing when the D key is pressed. I need to check if I'm touching the edge, so we can do the same duplicate on this one. If I'm touching the edge, then change y by minus 10. Well, no, because we're going down, we want to change y by 10 to bump us back up. And then maybe to make sure we always start in a good place, right now we can say we're at minus 211. When the green flag is clicked, let's always go to the center of the screen, well, the left side of the screen, which is minus 211, and then the center of the screen vertically, which is going to be 0. So now the cat moves up and down, doesn't touch the edge, and we don't need to do anything when the E key is pressed anymore because this loop is going to always check, is that key being pressed? Okay. And let's do a quick little drag and drop this over into the wizard. And let's go fix up the wizard. So we don't want, so now I'm editing the wizard. We don't want to this up arrow key pressed anymore. And we don't want to go to minus 211. You can see the wizard's right now at like, what is that number? 193. We can make it 195. And 0 sounds about right. That way they always start facing each other in the 0 y coordinate. And now if I hit E and D, they're both moving the same. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make it so that the wizard's listening to the up arrow and that the wizard's listening to the down arrow. But all the touching edge and the moving up and down is going to stay the same. And now you can see these guys can move at the same time. They can move the same direction. They can move in different directions. And they don't bump into edges or they don't walk off the screen. All right. So that's the difference there between when the space bar or the arrow key is pressed to do this action versus being in this loop where it's always checking, hey, is the key pressed? Is the key pressed? Now this makes the computer a little bit busier, but right now we're just making games. We're not worried about the most efficient games, right? We're worried about having fun and learning. So as you get better and you make more challenging programs, you might be worried about the power. But for now, we'll trust this is okay. All right. So now let's throw some food. Let's waste some food. But this is just virtual food, so it's not that bad. We'll add, oh, this Sprite Cat's named poorly. Let's call Sprite Cat. Or Scratch Cat. Let's call him Scratch Cat. All right. So we have Scratch Cat. We have a wizard. And now we need to throw something at each other. Since it's a food fight, we'll grab an apple. The apple looks a little large still. Okay. Does that look like about the right size that the cat would throw at the wizard? That seems pretty good. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay. So now, if the cat is doing something, we want to throw the apple. Let's say, what key should we check for that? the space key. Sounds good to me. So now we want to do another if. So we've checked to see if they're moving up, if they're moving down, if we want to throw an apple. So if the space key is pressed, well, we could do it two ways. We can have the cat checking for the apple, or we have the apple checking for this. Think about it. Which way should we try? We can try it either way. Normally I do the cat during the apple, but let's see what happens here. When the green flag is clicked, what's our apple going to do? If you remember back to what our bullet was doing in the last game with the space rocks we had to shoot, the first thing we do is hide. And then we go in this loop and we wait for, we'll do this loop forever. And then we say if the space key is pressed, then what do? We run and jump over to where the cat is. So we have to go to scratch cat and then maybe move forward a little bit. We did that last time too, right? So change X by 10. Move forward a little bit. I think we're ready to show ourselves as an apple. And then we repeat until touching the edge. We're going to go all the way across the screen. So until touching the edge. What are we going to do until we touch the edge? Let's change X by 10 and move across the screen, right? All right. Let's see if that works. When the green flag is clicked, and there you go. It touches the edge and stays over there. And I can't fire more than one apple because while it's in this loop, it's not paying attention to the other space bars being pressed. Okay, so we have a couple things to fix, right? What are we going to fix first? Well, what are the couple things we need to fix? The apple's just staying there frozen, right? And it's not doing anything to the wizard. The easy one is the apple being frozen. So once we've gotten to the edge, what do we want to do? Let's just hide ourselves again, right? So repeat until we're touching the edge, then we hide. So now when I hit the green flag, the apple goes, touches the edge, and then hides itself. Easy enough. So now we got our cat who's able to shoot apples. And he can shoot apples as he's moving around. That's all fine. All right. All right. So what do we do now? Oh, we need to make the wizard. So if it's up arrow, if it's down arrow, if it is touching the apple, right? So let's do another if. We got to check to see if we've been hit. Let's see if we're touching the apple. What are we going to do? I say ouch. For 2 seconds. For how long? I'll say ouch. Let's see if that works. Fire an apple, hits the wizard. And are we going to play sudden death? Is it just one time that you get to do it and then you're over? We'll try it for one for right now. So, if it's always a head-to-head game of who's going to win, we say ouch for 2 seconds. Maybe we don't say ouch for 2 seconds. Should we spin? Should we do something else? Spin and shrink and say ouch? Let's see. Let's say ouch. Instead of saying ouch for 2 seconds, we'll say ouch. And then what happens there? If we just say it, how long will this guy say ouch for? He's just going to say ouch forever. But we can move him while he's saying ouch. And then how do we clear that? So by saying nothing. I'm learning a little bit here. So that's how we clear it. When you say nothing. Say ouch and then say nothing right away. So we can say ouch. And then we can do a little loop of, We don't want to do a loop of saying nothing. We're going to say it at the end when we're done with our loop. And we will rotate around. We got hit, so we spin out maybe 30 times. We spin 15 degrees. And should we shrink or grow? Probably shrink. Shrinking is what happens, right? So, or we change our color. We change our color. Our ghost effect will vanish. So I think we did ghost before. We'll change it by 5. And that means when we start, when we do our original work up here by going to this, we need to clear all the graphic effects. So that we can do this. And let's see what happens now. There we are. I get hit by that. I say ouch, and we vanish away. I kind of vanish before we're done saying ouch. So let's change the ghost effect by a little bit less. Let's just try 2. That wasn't enough. Try 3. Still not disappearing yet. We'll try 4. And maybe you've noticed something about the wizard in this process. He's facing the wrong way. So that's another thing we need to do when this starts, because we don't know how many degrees we're going to be facing when we end, is to go to a particular location, clear the graphic effects, and point in what direction we want to point. 9 degrees, which is what our default starting is. So there we get hit. We say ouch, and we disappear. Now, the cat can still move around and shoot apples. And it can still hit that guy. Because he's still there, but he just has this ghost effect on him. So either we hide or we stop him. And I'm okay with stopping him. So there's this stop all. Once we've been hit at the end, we do it. We hit stop all, and that means we stop doing this loop to check to see if we've hit anything. And so now nothing works anymore, right? So after the game is up, maybe that doesn't look as good though, because then he comes back to be visible. All right, so let's not stop all. We'll have to hide him. Let's hide him, which is in looks, and then that means we need to show him when we start. Now I shoot that apple, he's gone. He's hidden now, so he can't be hit by the apple. Okay. And I can only shoot 1 apple at a time, and the apple moves kind of slow. Should we speed the apple up? Make it a little bit harder to dodge this apple. Now that's a fast apple, huh? 17 might be too fast. Let's try 15. 15, that's an apple that will hurt. All right, let's give our wizard some special way to fight back. Bananas look like a good thing to use for the wizard. And the bananas are going to be pretty much the same as our apple. So let's borrow the code from the apple. Bananas are still a little bit big right now. Okay, so they're going to hide. Then forever, then wait. Well, we don't want to do it when the space key is pressed. We'll do it when the left arrow is pressed. We're not going to go to Scratch Cat. Who's going to shoot the bananas? The apple, Scratch Cat, or the wizard? The wizard. Change X by -10. Well, 10 moves us to the right. So we want to move to the left. So we want to go -10 there. Then we're ready to show ourselves. Then we repeat till we're touching the edge. Change X not by 15, because that will go to the right, but by -15 to move to the left. And then when we're touching the edge, we can hide. So now if I run it, there go my bananas. All right. Here comes some apples, and there go bananas. And looks like we need to update Scratch Cat so that when the bananas hit him, he gets hurt as well. Okay. So we'll go back over here, refresh what we're doing, touching the apple, say ouch, spin around, ghost a little bit, say nothing, and then hide. All right. If the cat is, we got to check to see if it is touching the apple is what it was before, but now we don't want to be touching the apple. We want to be touching bananas. So the cat is touching bananas. Then we want to change what we're saying. The cat's going to say, yikes. And then we have to do our little acting bit of getting hurt by the bananas, which was, what did we do? We rotated, spun around, and changed our ghost color, or our ghost effect. So change our ghost effect by 4, I think it was. And we did this loop 30 times. Maybe the cat will spin minus 15 degrees, 15 degrees, doesn't matter. And then afterwards, what do we have to do? Oh, wait a second. Is the wizard throwing bananas without being seen? That's something we need to check too. All right, that's a little bug. We'll get back to that. Say yikes. Repeat 30 times. It spins around. The ghost effect is there. It's disappeared. And so after we do all that repeating of 30 times, then we're going to say nothing to get rid of that little say block. Say nothing and hide ourselves. And every time we add a hide, we got to make sure that we're doing a show somewhere. So here we show. And then we also had to make sure that we're pointing in the right direction when we start. And so now, let me move these guys a little bit far away from each other. They can both shoot things at each other. Dodge them. Woo. Come down and shoot them and dodge it. And then the cat dies. But we just found out we can still keep score. Or not keep score, sorry. We can still throw bananas. So maybe we need to keep score. I was thinking a little ahead of myself. So, what should we do? Keep score? Sounds good to me. We will need a variable for cat. Scratch cat score. And wizard score. All right. And then we probably can move these onto different sides. Or do we want them just in the middle? Because the cat and the wizard can go above it. So move it into the middle. And now when they're both fighting, they're not going underneath that. That doesn't look like quite the middle, but we just get it close enough. That'll be all right. Okay, so now when the cat, we work on the cat, is touching the bananas, we do all this stuff, we hide. And then what? Well, we need to change the score. So let's set the wizard score. Let's change the wizard score by 1. Now we change the wizard score when the cat gets hit. Does that make sense? Yes. Sounds good, right? The wizard gets a point for hitting the cat with the banana. So if the cat is touching bananas, change the wizard score by 1. It's been hidden. Do we wait a second before it comes back? Let's wait a second, and then we can show ourselves again. Oops. Show ourselves there. So now we get, oh, got hit by that. Get hit by bananas. The cat is there. Wait a second. Cat should show. Oh, but we have this ghost effect too. So let's clear all of our graphic effects. Oh, pretty much the same thing that we do up here. Clear the graphic effects, and we have to point in the right direction. Oh, let me drag down here. Point in the right direction. clear graphic effects, and then show ourselves. So let's hit the cat. Cat gets hit. Wow, boom. Wait a second. Now the cat's back in action. Ready to go. Okay. So let's do the same thing for the wizard. When the wizard is touching the apple, we have to change Scratch Cat score. Not the wizard score, but change Scratch Cat score. We have to clear all of our graphic effects. Then we have to point in the right direction because we did this weird spinning around. And then we're ready to show ourselves. So let's see what happens now. Wizard gets hit. Scratch Cat got a point. Wizard got hit. Scratch Cat got a point. Now you notice they're not getting the point until after all that spinning. Should we give them a point right away? Or it's okay. People don't really check that much. And nothing happens in between. So we can leave it like that. Dodge that one. Throw the banana. All right. Looks good, except for when we hit the green flag, the scores don't change. All right. We can fix that, right? When the green flag is clicked, set the wizard score to 0. And set the Scratch Cat score to 0. And that's it. I mean, we can make it a little more interesting where bananas and apples are spinning. So here where it's changing, we can do the same thing where if we turn some degrees, then it looks like the banana and the apple are flying in a more interesting way, right? Oh, wow, look at that apple. Look at those bananas. Okay. I think that works. And you keep scoring here, and the apple goes and gets the wizard. The wizard's tormented by it. They both go down. They wait. All right. I think this looks all right. We got these. You can add a background if you like. Draw your cafeteria, your school cafeteria, and make that a little more special. So that's what we cover here. We did some of our same basic movements, right? For the wizard, move it up and down. Then we had to also check to see if we need to do some game logic of when we're touching the apple, we spin around, and that we sort of just explored with what we wanted the field to be like, right? We made it spin around, cleared it out, and then we just had to undo that to give him his life back. Oh, and you can see both of them can die at the same time, which is okay. That doesn't matter. You can also, I think, move. Oh, you can't move while you're spinning. So that's all right. I think this is it. Get your mom or dad or friends or family or teachers and try it. Maybe the first 1 to 10 wins. You can make up your own game. You can add that logic into this program too if you like. Right? So the wizard had some basic movement functions, and the apple and the banana, same basic idea too as we've done before. Check to see if a key's pressed. Jump over to where they are to simulate that throwing action. And then we spun it in the air just a little bit. Show, hide. Make sure you always got hides when you have shows. All right, guys. Have fun with this, and I'll see you next time.